The sky above the Earth's capital was filled with ships from many worlds. Lights blinked in the blue sky as the Galactic Council gathered for the peace ceremony. Humans had joined the council only 5 years ago, after a long history of staying alone. Now, they stood shoulder to shoulder with tall aliens, silver-skinned diplomats, and lizard-like generals. General Rion stood straight in his uniform, watching the ceremony from the balcony of Earth Command. His face was calm, but inside, he did not trust the smiles. Peace with the Galactic Empire had been signed. Trade ships moved between stars. Scientists shared knowledge. It looked like the start of a new age, but Rion had seen war before. He had led troops during the Orion border crisis. He knew that peace could break as quickly as glass. Still, he hoped it would last. 2 months after the ceremony, a report came in. A human colony named New Terra, located far on the edge of space, had stopped sending messages. It was a farming colony with families, teachers, engineers, and a few guards. At first, people thought it was a signal problem. But then a broken message came in, full of static. A child's voice cried out for help. There was fire in the background, screams, and then silence. Rion was called to the main command center. The screen showed the last known image from New Terra. The buildings were burned, fields were destroyed, human bodies lay on the ground. Rion stared at the image without speaking. Then he said one word. Who? Earth leaders contacted the Galactic Council at once. They demanded answers. The Empire replied quickly. They said it was an accident or the work of pirates. They denied sending any ships to that area. They offered no real help. Rion did not believe them. Pirates did not have weapons that strong. Pirates did not attack farming colonies without taking anything. The Empire was hiding something. Rion met with the President of Earth. He asked for permission to send a scout team. The President agreed. Rion chose a small group, led by his best pilot, Mira. She was young, quiet, and very skilled. Mira's team flew a fast ship called Sky. It reached the New Terra system in 2 days. They found wreckage floating in space. Some of it was human ships. Some of it was something else. One of the wrecked ships had strange holes in the side. Burn marks showed powerful energy blasts. Mira's crew found a small weapon stuck in the metal of a cargo ship. It was smooth, black, and marked with symbols they didn't know. It was not human. Mira sent the weapon and ship pieces back to Earth. When Rion saw the weapon, his face grew hard. He took it to the council. He stood before hundreds of alien leaders, light shining on his silver uniform. This weapon is not ours, he said. We found it at the New Terra colony. We lost over 300 civilians, children, teachers, farmers. I want the truth. Who attacked us? A tall Empire speaker stood. His voice was cold and calm. As we said before, General Rion, this must be the work of outlaws. The Empire did not send ships to New Terra. We do not recognize this weapon. Rion stared at him. Then let us investigate your bases near the colony. The speaker shook his head. That is not allowed. It is against our laws. The council members murmured. Some looked uncomfortable. Some looked away. Rion saw what he needed to see. Fear, guilt, silence. He returned to Earth without a clear answer. That night, he met with his top officers in a quiet room. Maps of the galaxy were on the walls. Stars glowed softly on the table between them. We are being tested, Rion said. They think we will stay quiet, that we are weak. But we are not. One of the officers, a strong man named Bren, leaned forward. What if they attack again? Rion looked at him. If they kill humans again, we will not wait. We will not ask again. We will declare war. His officers nodded. They were ready, not because they wanted war, but because they wanted justice. Outside the window, the stars looked peaceful. But Rion knew peace was only real when it was protected. Mira sat in the cockpit of Sky, her eyes fixed on the stars. The ship moved smoothly through space. Beside her, her co-pilot Juno checked the scans. They were near the edge of Empire-controlled space. The mission was dangerous. But Mira had trained for moments like this. General Rion had sent her to find the truth. The destroyed colony of New Terra was only the beginning. He believed there was more. Something hidden, Mira agreed. The attack had been too clean, too fast, and the weapon was not human. That meant someone powerful was behind it. Juno spoke quietly. We're getting close to the mining zone near Sector 9. Empire control bases just ahead. Mira nodded. Keep us low. Don't get too close. We scan and move. The mining world below them was dark and rough. Big machines dug into the ground, pulling out rare metals. Empire ships circled above, like birds of prey. Mira's ship stayed in the shadow of a small moon. Her scanner blinked. There was movement. 4 large ships were hiding behind a gas cloud. They weren't listed on the Council's patrol records. Juno leaned forward. They don't match pirate patterns. No ID marks. No beacon lights. Mira zoomed in. The ships had strange designs. Long, sharp edges. No windows. Black metal skin. They looked cold and silent. Not like any race she had seen before. We record everything. Then we leave, Mira said. Suddenly the ship shook. A beam of energy passed close. An unknown ship had fired. They saw us, Juno shouted. Evasive move, Mira commanded. The sky arrow spun to the left. 2 enemy ships followed. They were fast. Mira flew into the asteroid belt nearby. Her hands moved quickly, dodging rocks. Juno sent a signal back to Earth. This is Sky Arrow. We found unknown ships near Empire Base. They attacked, sending proof returning now. The chase lasted for minutes. Then Mira dropped a pulse bomb behind her. It exploded, and the enemy ships pulled away. Sky Arrow jumped into light speed and vanished, back on Earth. Rian stood with scientists in the command center. The images Mira had sent showed the black ships clearly. Their design, their weapons, their speed. None of it matched any known species. Not even the hidden ones. A man in a lab coat turned to Rian. These are not pirates. They are military. Class, clean tech, high speed. And they're close to Empire lines. Rian nodded. The Empire is hiding them, or working with them. The President joined them. We can't prove that yet. We need more. Rian spoke calmly. We already have enough. A colony was wiped out. Now unknown warships are hiding near Empire space. We need to act before they strike again. The President looked tired. We'll bring this to the Council. Rian shook his head. They will delay. They always do. That night, Rian sent a private message to every major Earth leader. He said only one thing. If another human colony is attacked, we will go to war, no matter what the Council says. 3 days later, news came from a place called Vega Post. It was a small science station on a quiet moon. A research team of 20 humans worked there. Now, the station was silent. Earth ships sent to check found it destroyed. The walls were blasted. The computers were melted. All 20 humans were gone. There was no sign of pirates. No broken locks. No stolen supplies. Rian looked at the report. He said nothing for a long time. Then he stood, walked to the council hall, and stepped onto the main floor. Alien leaders looked up as Rian entered. His voice was strong and clear. This is not a mistake. This is not pirates. This is planned. Another human post is gone. No. One is left. We warn you after New Terra. This is our final warning. If you kill humans again, we will declare war. Some members gasped. Others whispered. The Empire speaker stood slowly. You are emotional, General Rian. We understand your pain, but this is not how peace works. Rian stared at him. Peace only works when both sides follow the rules. The speaker smiled. You don't have the strength to fight the Empire. Rian replied without blinking. Then you'll find out what we become when we are forced to fight. He turned and left the chamber, back at Earth Command. Rian met with Mira and the other officers. The room was quiet. Maps showed the known routes of Empire fleets. Red lights marked the missing colonies. Rian spoke firmly. We don't strike first, but we will not lose another colony. Our ships are ready. Our people are ready. Mira asked, do we know what these black ships are? Not yet, Rian said, but we will find out. And when we do, they'll learn we are not easy prey. Brent pointed at the outer sector map. If they move again, It'll be toward Bloodstone. That's the next closest colony, Rian nodded. Then we prepare. We protect it with everything we have, far from Earth, in a dark corner of space. A figure stood inside a control room filled with screens. He wore a smooth black uniform. His eyes were silver. Behind him, one of the black ships floated outside the window. Another figure entered the room. They found our scouts, and they are preparing defenses. The leader spoke quietly. Let them prepare. We are not finished yet. The humans are. Louder than we expected. But loudness does not mean strength. They turned back to the screens. Bloodstone was already in view. Bloodstone was a small colony on a rocky planet near the edge of human space. It had been built to mine rare minerals deep under the surface. The colony was peaceful. Families lived there, children played in the narrow streets, scientists and workers helped grow the base. It was not a place for war, but General Rian had already sent a defense team to Bloodstone. After what happened at New Terra and Vega Post, he could not take any chances. 5 fast ships were placed in orbit. The soldiers were told to watch the skies every hour. Mira was sent to lead them. The people of Bloodstone welcomed her with warm hearts. Some felt safe knowing Earth had not forgotten them. Others were afraid. They had seen the news. They had heard the stories of ships that came without warning. Mira walked through the colony's command center. The air smelled of dust and metal. Her eyes moved across the screens, looking for any movement in space. Juno called out from the radar room. Something just entered the system. 6 ships, no ID. Moving fast, Mira stood still for a moment. Then she gave the order. All defense teams to battle positions, shield the colony, and send word to Earth now. The sky above Bloodstone changed in seconds. The unknown ships appeared like dark arrows cutting through the stars. They flew without warning lights. No signals. No word. Earth ships rose to meet them. Mira's voice came through the comms. This is Commander Mira of Earth Fleet. You are entering human space. Identify yourselves or we will respond. There was no answer. Only silence, and the black ships fired bright red beams shot from their weapons. One Earth ship exploded before it could move. Another was hit on the side and fell toward the planet. Mira's ship dodged the first strike and returned fire. Her blast hit one enemy ship and broke part of its wing. But the enemy did not stop down. On the surface, the people of Bloodstone ran to shelters. Alarms rang. Parents carried their children. Soldiers helped the weak. Dust filled the air as the first blast hit the ground. Mira's team fought bravely. But they were outnumbered. 1 by 1, Earth ships were destroyed. Mira's voice came over the final signal. This is Commander Mira. We are under attack. Enemy ships match the ones from New Terra. We are protecting the colony as long as we can. If this message reaches Earth, know that we stood our ground then. The signal ended at Earth Command. General Rian stood in front of a silent room. The lights were dim. The last transmission from Bloodstone played on the screen. Mira's voice echoed in the room. Her ship had gone silent after that. No one moved. No one spoke. Carrion turned to his officers. His face was hard, but his voice was calm. They attacked again. They killed our people. They did not answer our warning. They think we are afraid. They think we will keep talking. He looked around the room. The officers waited for his next words. I gave them one warning. This was their answer. Now we give them ours. Rian walked to the center table. A red map of the galaxy glowed there. He pointed to the Empire border. We will not wait for permission. We will protect every human world, and we will strike back the next day. Rian stood before the Galactic Council. This time, he wore full command uniform, not for ceremony. For war, leaders whispered as he entered. Some stood. Some sat in silence. Syrian walked to the center and spoke clearly. Bloodstone has fallen. Families have died. We gave a clear warning. You ignored it. Now we act alone. The Empire speaker rose slowly. You cannot do this. You will break the laws of the Council. Rian looked at him without fear. The Empire broke those laws first. We asked for truth. You gave us lies. We asked for peace. You gave us fire. This is not just about humans. This is about who is allowed to live free and who is forced to kneel. He raised his voice so the whole chamber could hear. If you kill humans, we will not beg. We will not run. We will declare war. And we will not lose. Then he walked out without waiting for a reply that same night. Earth's fleets moved. Battleships left the orbit of Mars. Fighters launched from the moons of Jupiter. On far-off planets, human outposts raised red flags. War-flagged civilians were moved to safe zones. Young officers stood ready in rows. Engineers worked without rest to prepare weapons. Everyone knew the time had Kamurian met with his top commanders. In a high room above Earth's capital, stars shone. Outside the window, the galaxy looked peaceful. But Rian knew better, spoke to the room. We do not fight because we want power. We fight because they left us no choice. We fight to protect those who cannot fight. We fight for those who have already fallen. This war will not be easy, but it will be just. They all saluted. The room was filled with quiet strength in a distant world. Inside a cold, dark ship, the silver-eyed leader watched the battle reports. His officer entered and bowed. Bloodstone was taken. Most of the humans were killed, but a few escaped. The general has declared war. The leader turned slowly, led him. We have tested them. Now we will see what they truly are. He stepped forward and looked at the map of Earth space. We gave them a chance to hide. They chose to stand. So now, we make them fall. General Rion stood at the center of Earth Command. Round him were screens showing stars, fleets, and red marks blinking across the galaxy. Bloodstone had fallen, but not forgotten. Rion had made his warning clear. Now came the answer. The war had begun. The skies were filled with ships. Hundreds of them moved in formation. Battleships shaped like arrows, fast fighters that glow with power. Cargo ships filled with supplies. Engineers worked night and day. Pilots trained in long shifts. There was no more waiting. No more silent sacred space. The Empire sent its patrol ships near Greyfield, a large planet where humans had built a strong base. One Empire ship sent a signal. It claimed to be on routine patrol, but scans showed its weapons were armored. Greyfield. Command sent a reply. You are entering human territory. Turn back. There was no reply. Then the Empire ship fired. It struck a defense satellite above Greyfield. The explosion lit the sky. In seconds, Earth's ships rose from the surface. They didn't wait. They fired back. The Empire ship was hit by four beams and broke into pieces. First battle of the war had begun. General Rion received the report. He read it in silence. Then he turned to his commanders. They made the first move. Now we make ours. He pointed at the map. A large Empire base sat near the edge of human space. It was called Station Caro. It supplied weapons and fuel to Empire patrols. Rion gave the order. We take Station Caro. We show them that we are not afraid. Commander Vera, one of Rion's closest officers, prepared the strike force. She chose 30 fast ships, 10 heavy ones, and a team of special troops trained for space boarding. The mission would not be easy, but they were red-eye fleet left Earth and jumped through space. They appeared near Station Caro just before sunrise on that side of the planet. The Empire did not expect an attack. Their guards were slow to react. Earth ships moved fast. Fighters flew in first, taking out the outer defenses. Heavy ships followed, sending powerful beams toward the station. Explosions flashed in the sky. Then Vera's voice came through the comms. Boarding team, go now. Small transport ships latched onto the station walls. Soldiers in dark suits broke through doors and entered. Inside, Empire guards fired back. But the human soldiers were trained and focused. Room by room, they moved forward. Power systems were shut down. Control rooms were taken. Flags of the Empire were pulled down. The human flag was raised in the center of the station. After 2 hours, it was dawn. Station Caro was in human hands. Back on Earth, news spread quickly. Humans had won their first real victory. People cheered in streets. Families felt hope again. The Empire had been struck, and the galaxy had seen either species began to pay attention. Many had long been under the Empire's rule. Some had lost their own people. Some had seen how humans fought, not to conquer, but to protect. Quiet talks began across stars, whispers of support. Secret messages. Received one such message from a group of alien leaders. They were from smaller planets who feared the Empire. They wanted to help Earth. Rion welcomed them. He did not ask them to fight. But he asked them to speak the truth the galaxy must know, he said. What the Empire hides and what we are willing to defend in the dark halls of the Empire's capital. The Emperor sat in a tall chair. Round him stood his commanders. His face was pale with anger. They struck our station. They killed our men. And the council does nothing. One of the commanders spoke. We believe they were weak. But the humans fight with fury. They don't give up. They don't run. The Emperor stood and slammed his staff on the floor. Then we crush them. We send the fleet, burn their colonies, break their spirit. But even in that room, there were quiet doubts. Some of the Empire's leaders had seen the battles. They had seen the fire in human eyes. And they were not sure any Morarian stood in front of young soldiers preparing to leave Earth. He looked at each of them. Their faces showed courage. But also fear spoke with care. This war was not our choice. But it is our duty. We fight not for power, but for peace. We fight not for revenge, but for the safety of those who cannot fight. Every one of you carries the voice of those we lost. Let that voice guide you. The soldiers saluted. The hangar doors opened. Ships rose into the sky. A few days later, Empire ships gathered near another human colony called Haven Reach. They had orders to destroy it, but when they arrived, they found human ships already waiting. Earth had sent more than defense. They had sent a Wolf. Empire commander hesitated. He looked at the human fleet. They were fewer in number, but stood without fear. He remembered the reports from Greyfield and Station Caro. He gave no order. The Empire fleet turned back. It was the first time they had stepped away. In the quiet of night, Rian walked outside the Earth Command building. He looked up at the stars. They were cold, distant, and full of danger. But they were also full of hope. He knew the war would grow harder. He knew lives would be lost. But he also knew this truth: humanity had found its voice in the dark, and it would not be silenced. The war was no longer a secret. News of the first Earth victories spread across the stars. On distant planets, people watched the recordings of human ships defeating powerful Empire forces. For the first time in years, the Galactic Empire looked weak. General Rian knew this was just the beginning. Earth had proven its strength, but the war was far from over. The Empire was powerful, and their ships were many. But now, something had changed. Other species across the galaxy had started to notice that Earth did not fight to conquer. Earth fought to protect. In the deep control room of Earth Command, maps showed red and blue lights. Red marked Empire-controlled space. Blue marked human defenses. Yellow lights had started to appear. These were messages from alien worlds offering silent support. Rian stood before his officers. His face was calm but focused. The Empire believed we would break. Instead, we held the line. Now we move forward with care. We do not become what they are. We must fight with honor. And we must show the galaxy what humans stand for. Commander Vera stepped forward and placed a small chip into the center console. A large image appeared in the air. It showed a hidden Empire base called Varnic Prime. It sat on a dead moon surrounded by mines and energy fields. From there, the Empire sent supplies and weapons. Too many smaller outposts. If we take Varnic Prime, we slow down their whole system, Vera said. We can cut their supply lines, make them feel pressure. Rian nodded. Prepare the mission. I will lead it myself. The officers looked at each other. Rian had not gone to the front lines since the Orion crisis, but this time, he would not stay behind. The human fleet moved through quiet space. The mission to Varnic Prime was dangerous. The base was hidden behind layers of defense, but Earth had studied every signal and movement. They had learned. They had adapted. The fleet appeared near the moon without warning. Fighters led the attack. They flew close to the surface and avoided mines. Heavy ships followed and began targeting the power generators. Explosions lit the sky above the base. Inside the base, Empire officers scrambled. Their systems were slow to react. They had not expected a strike so deep in their territory. Led a team of soldiers into the heart of the base. He wore light armor and moved like a man with purpose. The team moved through long halls, clearing the path with speed and control. They placed small devices on walls and systems. These were not bombs. They were data traps. Take the base, but more important, take their secrets. Rian ordered. Within 1 hour, Varnic Prime was in human hands back on Earth. Scientists worked day and night to study the information from Varnic Prime. What they found shocked them. Hidden files showed that the black ships which attacked New Terra and Bloodstone were not controlled by pirates or rebels. They were created by a secret part of the Empire known as the Silent Wing. This group had no name in the public records, no signs in the Council. Their goal was to remove any rising threat. Before it became Strongarth had been on their list for years. General Rion shared this truth with the Galactic Council. He stood in front of them and played the recordings. Screens showed documents, orders, ship blueprints. Everything was clear. These attacks were not accidents, Rion said. They were planned. The Empire sent the Silent Wing to wipe us out before we could rise. This is not a war we started, but it is one we will finish. Some council members looked away. Others whispered. A few stood and applauded. For the first time, voices were rising against the Empire. Inside the council itself and small planets across the galaxy, alien people began to push back. Silent protests, small refusals to follow orders, messages sent to Earth with offers of help. Some even sent engineers, medics, or Supplicone. Small planet named Rena sent a team of builders. They helped humans build a hidden repair base on a lonely moon. In return, Earth sent medicines and protection and welcomed these changes. But he stayed cautious. He knew the Empire would not fall with just whispers and hope. They still had a large fleet, and they were angry. The Empire did strike back. They launched a large attack on a human station near the planet Duskfall. The battle was brutal. Earth lost many ships. The station was damaged. But the Empire also lost more than they expected. Human ships were faster now. Their soldiers were smarter. Their leaders worked as Onarian stood at Duskfall after the battle. Fires burned in the distance. Medics helped the injured. Soldiers rested in silence. Rion walked among them, speaking to each one. You held the line. You protected this world. You did not give in. You made Earth proud. One young soldier stood and saluted. We will never stop, sir. Not until they listen. Rion placed a hand on his shoulder. Then we will make them listen back on the Empire's capital world. The silver-eyed leader of the Silent Wing watched the reports. He stood alone in a dark room. Hands behind his back, the door opened, and one of his commanders entered. Earth is gaining support. Even some council members speak for them now. They know about us. The leader stayed silent. They took Varnic Prime. Our supply lines are weakened. Should we fall back? The silver-eyed leader turned slowly. No. We are not finished. Let the humans believe they are strong. Let them grow bold. Then we strike where it hurts most. Not their ships, not their bases, but their hearts. The commander nodded and left. Leader walked to a window and looked out at the stars. This is not over. They will see what true fear is. The war had dragged on for many months. Both sides had lost much. Planets once bright with life were now scars in the galaxy. But General Rion refused to give up. He believed this war could end with honor, with peace that lasted. In a quiet room, deep inside Earth Command, Rion met with his closest officers. Maps and reports filled the table. The latest news was not good. The Empire had launched a new kind of attack. They targeted human civilians, villages, and cities far from the battle. Lines were bombed. Families died. Rion's face was heavy with pain. He spoke softly, but with strength. We do not fight like that. We protect our people. We avoid civilian harm. But the Empire, they use fear as a weapon. They try to break our spirit by hurting those who cannot fight back. One officer, a woman named Lyra, looked angry. We need to respond. Show them that we will not allow this. Rion nodded slowly. Yes, but we respond with honor. We do not become what they are. This war is not just about weapons. It is about who we are. As humans, while the war raged, something unexpected happened. Leaders from several alien planets came to Earth secretly. They were tired of the Empire's harsh rule. They believed in what humans were fighting for. They brought gifts of ships, weapons, and information. Rion welcomed them. He held meetings late into the night. He listened to their stories of loss and hoped. One leader, called Merrick from the planet Tolan, spoke clearly. The Empire rules through fear. We have watched humans fight with courage and care. That is why we offer our help. Together, we can stop the Empire's cruelty. Rian smiled with hope. Together, we are stronger. Together, we will bring peace. The new allies helped Earth prepare for a great battle. The target was a massive Empire base called Black Rift. It was the heart of the Empire's military power in this part of space. Taking it would cut the Empire's ability to send forces to many worlds. The human fleet moved silently. Ships from Earth and alien worlds flew side by side. Soldiers trained hard. Engineers fixed weapons and ships. Everyone knew the risks. They knew many might not return. Rian stood on the bridge of his flagship. He looked at the stars, feeling the weight of the moment. This battle will decide much, he said. But no matter what happens, we fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. We fight for freedom. The battle at Black Rift was fierce. The Empire's defenders fought with all their strength. Lasers and missiles filled the dark space. Ships exploded in bright flashes. Rian's fleet moved with skill. Earth's fighters darted quickly, avoiding enemy fire. Heavy ships fired powerful beams, breaking through the Empire's shields. Inside the base, soldiers led by Commander Vera stormed the corridors. They faced tough resistance. The halls were full of alarms and flashing red lights. Vera shouted to her team, "Push forward. We hold this place for humanity and all who want peace." Slowly, they took control. Systems shut down. Power flickered. The Empire's flag was torn down. The human flag rose high. After the battle, Rian made a promise to his people and to the new allies. This is only the beginning. We have shown that the Empire is not invincible. But the war is not over. We will keep fighting. We will protect those who suffer. And one day, we will bring peace to every corner of the galaxy. The victory at Black Rift inspired many. Other planets began to speak out against the Empire. Small rebellions grew. The Empire's hold weakened, yet the war's pain continued. Civilians still suffered. Homes were lost. Families mourned. Rian made a difficult decision. He ordered his commanders to focus on protecting civilians. Earth's forces would avoid attacks that harmed innocent people. They would fight only when necessary. Lyra, the officer, explained to soldiers, "We are stronger when we keep our honor. We are stronger when we show the galaxy who humans truly are." In the Empire's capital, the silver-eyed leader of the Silent Wing watched the news. With cold eyes, "They grow stronger," he said quietly. "Their spirit is harder to break than we thought." One of his commanders asked, "What is the plan now?" The leader smiled darkly. "We will strike at their hearts. When the time is right, they will understand the true cost of war." Back on Earth, General Rian stood outside the command center. The stars shone bright and cold. He thought about the long road ahead. He knew peace was possible, but only if both sides chose it. With quiet strength, he whispered, "We will protect our own. We will fight with honor, and we will not let fear win." The war had changed the galaxy. Many planets had seen the courage of humans. Many had felt the cost of fighting. But for General Rian, the fight was far from over. He stood once more before the Galactic Council. This time, the hall was full. Leaders from many worlds came to listen. Some had supported Earth, others still doubted. Rian's face showed the weight of battle. His uniform was marked by dust and wear, yet his eyes were sharp and steady. He spoke in a clear voice. "We did not want this war. We wanted peace. We warned the Empire many times. We gave them chance after chance. But they chose to attack, to kill our people." He paused, letting the silence fill the room. Then he continued, "We fought not to conquer, but to protect. We fought for every child, every family who wanted to live in peace, and we won some battles, but lost many lives." Rian looked around the room. "Today, I stand here not to threaten, but to remind, if anyone ever harms humans again, we will not hesitate. We will not ask or warn. We will declare war." A murmur ran through the council. Some leaders nodded. Others shifted uncomfortably. The Emperor's seat was empty. No one spoke for him, Rian added. This is a promise from those who survived, a promise from those who lost loved ones. The galaxy must learn that kindness is not weakness, that honor is strength. Back on Earth, the people watched the news with hope. The speech had changed many hearts. It showed that humanity was strong, but not cruel, that they fought for what was right. Rion returned to Earth Command, tired but proud. His officers greeted him with respect. They knew the road ahead would still be hard, but they also knew that they had made the galaxy listen. Mira approached him quietly. "What now, General?" Rion smiled softly. "Now, we build. We rebuild what was lost. We help those who suffered. We make sure this peace lasts." The Galactic Council sent a message to all members. Talks began about new rules to protect smaller worlds. To prevent wars like this again, humans were asked to help lead these talks, to teach others about courage and honor. Rion visited many planets during this time. He met with leaders, with families, with soldiers from many species. He saw hope growing. He saw the promise of a better future. One day, on a small, peaceful world, Rion stood looking at the stars. A child came to him and asked, "General, will there be peace forever?" Rion smiled and said, "Peace is not given, it is earned. It is kept by those who choose kindness and stand strong. We will keep it, as long as we remember that promise." Far away, in the shadows of the galaxy, the silver-eyed leader watched. The war was over, but his plans were not forgotten. He waited, knowing the galaxy was not yet free of darkness. But he had learned one truth. Humans were not easily broken, and that was a future he would watch with care. The story of General Rion became legend, a story told across stars, of a human who stood firm, who warned with strength and fought with honor. A story that taught the galaxy one simple truth. When humans are pushed, they rise. When they are hurt, they protect. And when they say war, they mean it, but more than that, they mean peace.